small world, as we say, right?
Absolutely.
So, right. So, okay. So you leave England. You start your studies in Arabic and Quran, and apparently, I'm assuming you're in Jordan, and you spent some time in Syria, and of course, your studies in Cambridge, and you're interacting with those students at these schools. I would imagine probably were the catalyst was the catalyst for you to focus, move in the direction of philosophy, because I would imagine, okay, if you try to, you want to answer, try to understand why they don't see the truth that you do, then I guess you probably would say, okay, well, is there some way I can find common ground with them, common understanding, and then build out from there, right? Which it seems that philosophy, it happens to be that arena where, of course, everyone makes a claim of seeking the truth through philosophy, right? But would that be a good way to characterize what happened in your situation? You develop an inclination, a desire to go deeper into philosophy, and because you wanted to try to convince others of the truth of Islam.
Absolutely, I think that is the fundamental reason. But I think there are other awamil. I think one of them is that the books that I found on my parents' shelves growing up and was absolutely enraptured by. I mean, like the Diwan of Shaykh Muhammad ibn Habib, of course, I was reading it in translation. I mean, they are really metaphysical works. They wouldn't be classed as such, but the type of metaphysics I since came to love, that's really what they are. I mean, you have extraordinary statements in Shaykh Muhammad ibn Habib's Diwan, like إنما الكون معان قائمة بالصور, for example, as well as the famous verse, it's only well as any meaning set up in images. And those types of statements really inspired me. I didn't know what they meant, but they really inspired me. And so I think it was a combination of that type of reading with encountering this really dogmatic, really quite militant atheism around me. And then realizing that I really want to be able to express to these people these profound truths which seem to be hinted at by these texts I was reading. I wouldn't claim to have been able to understand them, but it was enough to know that this was real and this was transformative and this was liberating and would be for those people. I think there's also a sense in which I just really wanted to be able to counter that atheistic worldview for myself. I knew it was false, but I didn't know how to put together the stages of the argument by which you would show it. That was thus. And so I think, it's. I encountered. I do remember very clearly there was a concise dictionary of the English language on my parents' bookshelves, and one day I just opened it randomly. I saw the word metaphysics and I saw the definition, and I fell in love at that moment. I was 15 years old. I can't remember the exact definition, but I do remember falling in love with it.
Yeah. I actually had a plan to ask you the question, about metaphysics, about how you define metaphysics or understand metaphysics, because I imagine that, once this particular interview goes public, that many people in the audience won't understand a lot of the philosophical terms, and especially the type of books, very heavy books that you get published. This is, philosophy is not easy, right, for the average person. So, what is metaphysics? What is it?
Well,